Have you ever felt like something was off,
Oh,
but you kept making excuses for it? Like deep inside, your heart whispered, "This doesn't feel right." But your mind jumped in and said, "No, they're just having a bad day, or maybe I'm too sensitive." Hello, beautiful soul. Welcome back to Chosen Being. If you've ever found yourself constantly confused in a relationship, doubting your emotions or second-guessing your instincts around someone, this message is for you. Today we're talking about a truth many empaths avoid facing. When you're an empath in denial, you become the perfect fuel for a narcissist. And the most painful part is, you don't even realize it's happening. Please stay with me till the end of this video, because in the final part, I'll share what finally helps you break that pattern for good. Being an empath means you feel deeply, you sense others' pain, confusion, energy even, when no words are spoken. But when you're in denial about your own needs or reality, that gift can become a trap. Let me tell you something I've seen again and again. You meet someone who feels magnetic. They seem charming, confident, even wounded. And your heart opens because you see their pain. You want to heal it. You think, if I just love them a little more, they'll change. If I stay calm, they'll stop yelling. If I prove I'm trustworthy, they'll stop doubting me. But here's the truth. No one tells you when you're the empath in denial. Narcissists don't want healing. They want control. They see your compassion as a weakness. They sense your silence and blame yourself. And they feed off your light while giving you crumbs. Let me share a real example. There was a woman, let's call her Mira. She was married for years to a man who constantly belittled her. Subtle digs, silent treatments, emotional manipulation. But every time she thought about leaving, she said to herself, "But he had a rough childhood. But he's good with the kids." But I made vows. She was in denial. Not because she was weak, but because her empathy turned inward as guilt. Guilt for giving up. Guilt for abandoning someone who was hurting. Guilt for not fixing the person she loved. But that's the lie the narcissist wants you to believe. That their healing is your job? It's not. Being an empath in denial often looks like constantly explaining someone else's behavior to others. While quietly suffering in private, you smile at gatherings, but cry in the shower. You say, "I'm fine," but your body aches from holding in your truth. You avoid conflict, hoping peace will return. But all the while, the narcissist is growing stronger because you're shrinking. It's hard to admit. Because when you're an empath, you pride yourself on being loving. You tell yourself, "I'm not a quitter." You think real love is unconditional. But here's a question for you. Why is your love only unconditional when you're this one suffering? Why do they get away with crossing boundaries while you punish yourself for wanting space? When you start asking those questions, that's when you begin waking up. That's when you start realizing empathy without boundaries is self-destruction. Forgiveness without change is enablement. And love without respect is not love, it's self-abandonment. Let's stop here for now. Take a moment. Sit with what you've heard, because in part 2, I'm going to share the subtle emotional signs that prove the narcissist knows you're in denial and how they twist your empathy against you. You won't want to miss that. So stay tuned, stay grounded, and most importantly, start trusting your feelings. Asterisk part 2. Now let's go deeper. You started to feel something's not right. Your intuition whispers louder, but you still hesitate to act. That's exactly when the narcissist moves in harder, because now they can sense your confusion. See, narcissists aren't just emotionally manipulative. They're intuitive in their own dark way. They study you. They watch how much you tolerate. They test your silence. And when they realize you won't walk away, at least not yet, they start feeding even more off your light. Let me show you what that looks like. They say something hurtful, and instead of apologizing, they say, "Why are you so sensitive? It was just a joke." Always twist things, and you start questioning yourself again. Maybe I did overreact. I don't want to ruin the mood. Maybe I'm making it worse. Start explaining your emotions more than feeling them. Spend your energy trying to be understood by someone who isn't even listening. And the narcissist loves this, because the more you doubt yourself, the more control they gain. The more energy you give to making it work, the more power they feel. Here's another example, this time personal. I knew someone who used to say, I don't like drama. Every time I tried to express something real, at first I thought, maybe I am being dramatic. Maybe I am too emotional. So I shrunk a little, spoke a little softer, stopped bringing up things that hurt me in that person. They became louder, more demanding, more dismissive, until one day I realized it wasn't that I was too emotional. It was that my truth made them uncomfortable. But instead of looking within, they made me the problem. That's what narcissists do. They don't take responsibility, they redirect it. Another sign you're in denial is this. You feel exhausted after interactions. Not just tired, but drained. Like you gave so much and nothing came back. No peace, no clarity, no real love. Just guilt, confusion, and a strange sense of emptiness. Let me be very clear. That's not normal. It's not healthy. That's not love. It's emotional starvation masked as loyalty. And the longer you stay in denial, the more the narcissist thrives. They'll start rewriting history. It's telling you things didn't happen, calling your pain drama, turning your intuition into overthinking. They isolate you subtly, not always physically, but emotionally. Suddenly, you're the one walking on eggshells. You start monitoring your own truth just to keep the peace. But here's the spiritual part of it. Your soul knows, your body knows. Even your silence starts screaming. That's why your nervous system is on edge, why your stomach feels tight, why your heart doesn't feel safe. You're denying your truth to protect someone else's lies. That's the price you pay when empathy is out of balance. But now, you're waking up, starting to feel what's real. And when that happens, you've already begun to take your power back. Stay tuned for part 3, where I'll show you how to start reclaiming your energy, even when you're still stuck. In the relationship, yes, it's possible. Even before you walk away physically, you can start walking back to yourself emotionally. This is the beginning of healing, and I'll walk you through it. You're not alone anymore. Part 3. This part focuses on how to start reclaiming your energy and identity. Even while still in the relationship, you've begun to recognize the patterns, the guilt, the second-guessing, the exhaustion. Now it's time to slowly begin reclaiming your power again. You don't need permission to heal. You don't need someone to validate your pain. This process starts with simple choices, small, daily decisions. One of the first is saying no, not in rebellion, but in quiet self-respect. Not tonight. I need rest. I can't carry this again. That is a boundary. That is healing. I remember the night I had been expected to keep soothing someone's guilt again. My phone lit up repeatedly. My child was asleep. My body was tired, so I paused, held my breath, and I refused. My message was soft, but firm. I'm not available tonight. Please respect that. Then I turned off my phone, and I slept deeply for the first time in months, and it changed something inside me. It reminded me that my peace matters, even in a relationship. Even before closure happens. Another step was creating space, not distance out of fear, but space out of clarity. I started walking in nature again, reading, breathing slowly, observing. My feelings, just me, just silence. In that space, I began reconnecting with the me I had lost. My intuition came alive again. My heart slowed. My worth whispered softly, "You matter. Your peace matters." Slowly, you'll notice the narcissist's strategies begin to fail. They'll try to gaslight your boundaries. They'll push again. But this time, you pause. Stay quiet. Stay grounded. Stay clear. It may feel scary. It's bad. But every moment you choose self-care over emotional labor, you're reclaiming your birthright. You might ask, what if they escalate? What if they manipulate? More? That's okay. You don't need to fight. You need to ground. You need to remember how to feel whole on your own. Start with moments of stillness. Switch off your phone for an hour. Sit in silence. Drink tea. Journal what comes up. Pain, longing, relief, clarity. It's all sacred. Over time, your energy cleanses. You become quieter, more intentional, less reactive, more discerning. You begin to attract different energy. Even if you haven't spoken to them in weeks, even if closure is still far away, your vibration shifts. Not because you're trying to rise above, because you're returning to your true frequency. So let this be your permission to take your space back slowly, gently but firmly. The final part of this video will guide you through how to fully heal and move on in peace, Yvonne. If you've been stuck caring too long, because true healing isn't just leaving, it's coming home. This is your story, your healing, your return to wholeness. And now, beautiful soul, if you've made it this far, you already know something's been shifting inside you. You're no longer the person who just absorbs pain silently. You've begun to see, to feel, to remember who you are. And that's everything, because healing isn't loud. It's not about proving anything to anyone. It's quiet. It's sacred. It happens in whispers, small no-s, in deeper breaths, in longer silences. The narcissists may never change. They may never validate your pain. You are changing. And that's what matters most. You are realizing that your light was never meant to dim just to make someone else feel powerful. You are realizing that your empathy is not weakness, it's divine, it's powerful, it's holy, and that's why they were drawn to it in the first place. But now, you're not giving it away recklessly. You're learning the difference between compassion and codependency, between empathy and enmeshment, between love and obligation. You've probably been called too emotional, too sensitive, too intense. But the truth is, you just feel deeply, and that's not something to be ashamed of. That's your gift. You don't have to fight for anyone to see your heart anymore. You just need to keep showing up for you. Every time you choose peace over chaos, silence over drama, boundaries over burnout or healing, and with each step, your soul becomes lighter. You laugh again. You trust again. You look in the mirror and see someone rising from the ashes, not because they saved you, because you saved yourself. So if this video has resonated with you, know this: you are not broken, but you were never too much. You are simply a powerful empath learning how to take your light back and protect it, and that's sacred work before you go. Tell me in the comments what part of today's message spoke to your soul the most. Have you been in a place where your empathy was used against you? Let's talk about it, heal together, and grow stronger as a community. And if you're walking this journey and need reminders of your truth, subscribe to Chosen Being, because here your light is not only seen, it's honored. You're not alone in this. You never were. Keep healing, keep rising, and remember your energy is sacred. Guard it with grace.